it's a little weird that our solar system doesn't have a name.
Sorry, I need to hydrate before I educate. When you wake up tomorrow, you're going to look into the sky and you're going to see the sun. The sun is a star, and every star in space has a name. Our star's name is Sol. But you want the name of our solar system, the sun and its collection of planets. But I've already said it. The answer that you're looking for is in the words solar system. Solar system. A system of planets revolving around Sol, our star. There is a much more convoluted and scientific way to explain that, but that's how I remember it personally. And also TikTok only gives me a minute. So, welcome to the solar system, Sol.
And you having a queen when she has no power over the country and it's all run.
Let's do this. Our queen, along with the royal family, did have, at one point, a lot of power. But the history of the royal family versus the British government is vast and very complex, so I can't put it all in one TikTok. Let me simplify it. This is Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of the United Kingdom and 15 Commonwealth realms. This is the House of Commons. We're not interested in all these people, we're interested in that. This staff right here is essentially a royally appointed talking stick. At one point, the royal family gave the royal talking stick to the government so they can use the royal family's power and influence to run the country. Now, our current queen does have the right to walk into the House of Commons, grab that stick, and therefore rule the country. But she doesn't do that. Her one remaining piece of power is that she can declare war on anyone. Oh, that was exhausting, tea.
Jellyfish is still here. Oh my gosh, it's so cold and so slimy. I'm gonna pick it up.
Dude, step away from the Portuguese man-of-war jellyfish before it fucks you up. Why is this plum pudding of a person being an absolute bag of spoons? Let me explain. But first we hydrate, and now we educate. This is a man-of-war jellyfish. There seems to be three main types of man-of-war. There is the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Portuguese. These carnivorous jellyfish bob around on the surface thanks to a gas-filled sac. The average tentacle length of a man-of-war jellyfish is usually about 30 feet, but one was caught with tendrils reaching 165 feet. But the stinging power of a man-of-war jellyfish? Just, choose life. Walk away. The sting is very, very, very painful, but rarely kills healthy humans. That is a horseshoe crab. They are fascinating creatures and technically a living fossil because they were around during the dinosaur era. But first, we hydrate and then we educate. Apart from looking armoured and alien-like, these creatures have been on this earth for nearly 480 million years. Here is a fossil of one of them. The weirdest and coolest fact about them is their blood. It's blue. Now, even though this looks like blue milk from Star Wars, I wouldn't recommend drinking it, although it is useful for us humans. We use the blood of the horseshoe crab to make something called LAL, which means this, because I'm not going to try and say that. And we use this substance to identify toxic bacteria in stuff like vaccines. So if you've had the COVID vaccine, more than likely, you got some horseshoe crab in you. Well, you don't, but what I'm saying is horseshoe crab blood helps save millions of lives.
Why are babies in the womb for 9 months, but they aren't 9 months old when they're born?
First we hydrate. And now we educate. So when a new human being or a baby is inside the mother's stomach, it is also called a fetus. Another more accurate terminology for a fetus is a parasite. Because your mother, or your host, and yourself are connected via an umbilical cord. Now we're taught that the mother is giving this stuff, this life force, this energy willingly. In actuality, it's more like a straw, and we are just feeding on the host. And then when it's time to be born, that umbilical cord is cut, and you cease to be a parasite, you're now a human being. So technically speaking, your birthday is when you ceased being a parasite and became an independent human being. In other words, on the 30th of July 1987, my mother had a very large parasite removed from her, and 33 years later, I'm still here!
Did you know Satanists don't even believe in Satan? They're non-theistic, and it's just a metaphor.
The really weird part is that Satanism and satanic religions make more sense than normal religions. For example, the Christian Bible has the 10 commandments, like thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's wife, that sort of thing. But the problem with the 10 commandments is they're rather vague, and you can misconstrue and misinterpret the commandments to mean pretty much anything. Whereas Satanism has the 11 rules of Earth. Yes. For example, I can't remember what number it is, but do not make sexual advances unless you are given a mating signal. Like, that's just common sense. Just don't be a dick. But my absolute favourite is the last one. When walking in open territory, bother no one. If someone bothers you, ask them to stop. If they do not stop, destroy them.
Why'd you have rugby when it's just a soft version of our football? I don't.
Rugby was invented here in England, in Warwickshire, in 1823, by a man named William Webb Ellis, which is also the current name of the Rugby World Cup. The first official rugby game took place on the 27th of March, 1871, England versus Scotland, and it took place in Edinburgh. Scotland won. Now let's discuss the abomination that is American football. American football started in 1876 when a man named Walter Camp in Yale University, he took British football, British rugby, some Australian rules, put them into a blender and hit what the fuck. And then in the 1920s, the NFL was born. This TikToker also asked 2 other questions, which I'm going to answer in 2 other videos.
What's your country's biggest flex on the rest of the world?
Ooh, what flex can the United Kingdom bring to the rest of the world? Maybe the fact that at one point we owned 23% of the world. Out of 196 sovereign countries, we conquered all but 22. At the height of the empire during the 1920s, Britain's, or the United Kingdom's, official population was 412 million people. And that number got bigger, for in 1945, the UK's official population was over 700 million. Then between the years of 1946 and 1965, we decided just to give it all back. In between those 2 years, the United Kingdom population fell from 700 million plus to just 5. And currently the UK populace is sitting somewhere around 70 million.
Girls who made me use a condom when they were on the pill
were being responsible. If you're a proper gentleman, you practice something called safe sex. Whether she's on birth control or off it, you fucking sponge.
The chocolate on them is way too sweet, so I rinse it off under hot water and you have a way healthier but just as delicious...
Or, revolutionary and mind-boggling idea, how about you get yourself a normal bag of fucking peanuts? You spoon.